Welcome to this lesson on t-intervals for the mean. Today, we are going to learn how to construct a confidence interval for a population mean when the population standard deviation, sigma, is unknown. In statistics, our primary goal is often to estimate a true population parameter, like the population mean, mu. Since we cannot measure the entire population, we take a sample and find the sample mean, x bar. However, x bar is just a point estimate. To account for uncertainty, we want to create a range, or interval, around x bar that is likely to contain the true population mean. Here is the challenge. If we knew the population standard deviation, sigma, we would use the z-statistic and the normal distribution. But in the real world, we almost never know sigma. We only have the sample standard deviation, sa. Using s to estimate sigma introduces extra variability and error into our calculation. To fix this, we use the student's t-distribution instead of the normal distribution. As you can see in the diagram, the t-distribution is similar to the normal curve, but has fatter tails. These fatter tails account for the additional uncertainty caused by using the sample standard deviation, s, as an estimate. This leads us to the formula for a one-sample t-interval. It is x bar plus or minus t star times s divided by the square root of n here. X bar is our center, t star is our critical value based on the confidence level, and s divided by the square root of n is our standard error. A crucial part of the t-distribution is the degrees of freedom, denoted as df. The shape of the t-curve changes based on sample size. The formula is simple. Degrees of freedom equals sample size n-1. As the sample size grows, the degrees of freedom increase, and the t-distribution looks more and more like the standard normal distribution. To find the critical value, t star, we use a t-table or calculator. You look up the row corresponding to your degrees of freedom and the column for your confidence level. For example, with a sample size of 10, our degrees of freedom is 9. For 95% confidence, our t-star would be 2.262. Before we calculate, we must check 3 conditions. First, randomization. The data must come from a random sample. Second, the 10% condition. Our sample size should be less than 10% of the population. And third, the normal/large sample condition. The population should be normal, or the sample size should be at least 30. Let's try an example. Suppose we sample 16 coffee shops and find the average latte price is $4.50 with a standard deviation of 50 cents. We want to construct a 95% confidence interval. Our sample size n is 16, x bar is 4.50, and s is 0.50. First, we find the degrees of freedom, which is 15. The corresponding t-star is 2.131. Now we plug the numbers into the formula. We have 4.50 plus or minus 2.131 times the standard error. The standard error is 0.50 divided by the square root of 16, which equals 0.125. Multiplying that by our t-star gives us a margin of error of roughly 0.266. Subtracting and adding this to our mean gives us an interval of $4.23 to $4.77. How do we interpret this? We state that we are 95% confident that the true population mean price of a latte is between $4.23 and $4.77. This doesn't mean there is a 95% probability for this specific interval, but rather that 95% of such intervals constructed this way would contain the true mean. To summarize, when the population standard deviation is unknown, use the t-interval. Remember that the t-distribution has fatter tails to account for uncertainty. The degrees of freedom is n-1, and always check your conditions before calculating.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.